So he's looking for some more macro feedback here with so many economists pointing to, potential recessions, wants to know just kind of how are we adjusting our planning and management from that perspective with potential, talk of a recession. And then also asking on the DSP side, how did DSP contractors fare in the last recession? So, happy to kind of speak to a couple of those. And then Butch, this is your role too, so jump in as much as you want. But I think really the big thing for us, and this is again why I think we've seen a lot of contractors selling off, pieces of their business, is I think raising capital and deleveraging is generally one of the most important pieces in kind of anticipation for a recession. Because the beautiful thing about these businesses, and I'll speak to the FedEx side first, is that we're very recession resistant. And it's not that we're recession proof, but we're very recession resistant as an industry. And the main reason being is that as consumer demand drops, if we see that reduce, it's easy to reduce the size of operations, right? So you can easily scale down drivers and scale down vehicles to be able to, run whatever's efficient and optimal. When we change the number of routes we're running on a daily basis. So as demand changes, yes, our revenue is going to come down, but we can pull expenses down in an extremely correlated manner to control that margin. But where you typically don't have scale down ability is on debt service, right? Or truck payments. And so, deleveraging is one of the best ways to brace for a potential recession, because that's going to give you staying power. And a lot of people, won't have that if they are over leveraged. So that'd be the biggest tip. In terms of how the DSPs did, I don't think they really existed during the last recession. So, we're going to see that. And it I imagine would be, I would expect somewhat comparable, right? Because in the same way, they have that flex up, flex down ability. But it's an unknown. FedEx, we fared very well and saw, rather than aggressive growth, we saw sort of stagnation in growth. We didn't actually see any decline during the last recession. We just saw a slowdown of growth. But it'll be interesting to see, how DSPs, fare during that experience. So anything I missed there?
A couple things I want to add. One is, we did not historically see in the last recession a decline in revenues. That could theoretically come, but a lot of the cost pressures that currently exist in these businesses today would certainly dissipate in an economic recession. Labor costs would go down dramatically. Fuel prices would go down dramatically. So if we were to enter a real recession, the cost side of the equation would go down significantly for running these businesses too. Not just from scaling, but literally the cost of fuel, the cost of trucks, the cost of labor, all of those things would decline relative to where they are today too.